Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is wellness and nutrition, and we're fortunate to have with us to talk about wellness and nutrition Ms. SRankin. Ms. Rankin is a National Market Director for National Safety Associates, and of course with Ms. Rankin is Ms. LMcIndoo. Ms. McIndoo is a wellness coordinator for the National Safety Associates. And of course, Ms. Rankin and Ms. McIndoo, let me welcome both of you to the show this morning.
Thank you. Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Well, good. And we're glad to have you here because I think the topic that we're going to deal with this morning, wellness and nutrition, is something that is of real concern, not only to my audience this morning, but I think it's sort of a national concern in terms of, and certainly it's a concern to the people of the state of Tennessee when we think in terms of care and some of the other problems that we are associated with dealing with health care. And so let's start off, Ms. Rankin, by having you and after you, Ms. McIndoo, to give us some information about your background, your education, and how you became involved in this whole thing dealing with wellness and nutrition.
Well, thank you for having us here. We're delighted to talk about wellness and nutrition always. I'm actually a Nashville girl, raised here in Nashville, moved away for a little while, but came back. My background is educated here in Tennessee, a little bit of college experience, but really became focused on nutrition a few years ago, and actually 19 years ago began my own business. Became an independent contractor with National Safety Associates. So I've had the best of every world. I've been able to own my own business, be in business for myself, but really not by myself. And as a result, I have been able to travel around the world with this, teaching and training, educating people on how they can take control of their health and their wealth and their families' issues and helping them. So I am a mother. I have a grown child. I have 3 grandchildren, so that keeps me pretty busy. And we're having a great time educating people about wellness.
Very good. Ms. McIndoo.
Well, I'm a wellness coordinator, and I work with professionals and I work with families in educating about nutrition and wellness. And I have a Bachelor of Science degree from David Lipscomb University here locally, and worked professionally for several years, and then decided to become a stay-at-home mom. And I've always been interested in health and nutrition. And I've always been the kind of mom that always tried to serve very well-balanced meals and, you know, a meat-and-3 kind of thing. In fact, we joke because when we don't have time to do that. The kids get real excited if they get to eat cereal or chicken noodle soup, you know. So I've really always been conscientious about serving, you know, vegetables and things. But we still were getting sick and having health problems, and I just didn't understand why. And I started searching, and I found that fruits and vegetables were my answer, but raw as opposed to what I was doing, cooked. And so I got really excited about it because I could see the benefits from our, from our family. And so I got in the business of educating people and sharing this information.
Very good. You know, Ms. Rankin, since you've been involved with wellness for the last 18 years, let's have you over the last couple of minutes we have before our first commercial break to give us sort of an assessment of the health of the people of the United States in wellness in a real sense. Okay.
Well, traditionally in our country, we have treated our health as more of treatment and early detection. In other words, you got something wrong with you, you went to the doctor, you were treated for it, you know, you were tried to detect early some issue, cancer or heart issue. But in the last 5 to 10 years, we have seen a change in that, where we've moved more to prevention. And how that plays out is in wellness and people taking control of their health, being proactive versus reactive in what's going on in their bodies. And it's quite exciting. I mean, that translates into, of course, good health, but we're even talking about anti-aging, slowing the aging process down, and I don't know who wouldn't be excited about that. But that's really where we're going in the trends: 21st century prevention, 21st century nutrition, and the whole wellness revolution.
And of course, I think Ms. McIndoo, what we're saying here is that it's not going to be as expensive as it has been in a real sense in terms of dealing with some of these diseases, especially by prevention and the treatment of some of these.
Right, and getting children started early in good nutrition and understanding the role that nutrition plays in their overall health, you know, can really get us started on a better path.
Very good. And of course, I think very soon we'll have our first commercial break. And I want you to, the two of you, to be more specific in terms of the kind of issues that we face even now in terms of dealing with wellness and some of the other aspects of wellness. Perhaps even looking at your early experiences, Ms. Rankin, you might be able, before our first commercial break, to give us some understanding of the first business that you were involved in. You said that you were involved in a wellness center. Now, how did that operate?
Well, it's just in teaching and training and educating people, and certainly environmental issues, environmental products, and now more specifically nutritional issues. That's really how that plays out. And when we come back, I do want to address that most of us know that Americans aren't very healthy. And that's what we really want to, sometimes before we understand the solution, we have to understand a little bit about what the problem is and how that translates into everyday life.
And of course, even as a wellness person who's been involved in it, you believe in making the assessments that you're now making that most Americans are not healthy. Now,
well, most aren't.
Elaborate upon that in a real sense.
Well, most of us, we realize that Americans aren't very healthy. We're the richest country in the world, but we're now considered to be a malnourished country. That's not from not eating enough food. It's not getting the right kind of food, the not right nutrients, the convenience food, fast food, processed food, refined foods. It just kind of goes on and on and on. God created fruits and vegetables, and we've gotten far, far away from that. And as a result, we've seen since the 1970s, bypass surgery has gone up 2,800%. Heart disease, we spend something like $117 billion a year on heart disease. That's just heart disease. We're not talking high blood pressure or diabetes or stroke. And the economics to this country are pretty staggering.
And children are getting those at very young ages now. By the age of 3, children are getting fatty deposits in their arteries. And by age 12, children are starting to have hardening of the arteries. So it's an epidemic. Child diabetes is on the major increase, and also asthma has gone up way in the last few years. So a lot of health issues that are facing children at younger ages that we never saw these kind of health issues 10, 20, 30 years ago. And a lot of it goes back to what Sharon said, the convenience foods, the fast foods, the processed foods. A lot of times, we pull out processed foods, already pre-cooked foods for supper. And so it's just, we've gotten away from the fruits and vegetables, the mainstay, what should be the mainstay of our diet to get those nutrients that we need to feed our bodies.
Ms. Rankin, when you think in terms of children and prevention, how can you convince some mothers? Because I think most children are in the shape that they're in because they are loved. But how do you keep mothers from loving those children too much?
Well, it has a lot to do with education. I believe that most people aren't aware. As I've traveled around and I've had a chance to speak with different families, they're not aware of some of the things that are hurting their children. They think if you give them the ice cream, if you're good, Johnny be good, you'll get a bowl of ice cream kind of thing. That is the love. But versus, let's help you eat a few more pieces of broccoli or something like that, or get some fruit, carrots, get some extra pieces of fruit. So it is education, Dr. Haney, coming and doing our best to gift and train people that they can start at a very early age with their children and raise them up in a healthy manner.
And of course, all of this will certainly be to the benefit not only to the children, Ms. McIndoo, but it will also be, as we get ready for this first commercial break, it will also be benefit to the family and to the state as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Globally.
Very good. And of course, let me make preparations for the first commercial break, and after we come back, we're going to have the two of you talk more specifically in reference to the product that the two of you represent, Juice Plus. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very short commercial break. Is wellness and